Alright guys, we're going to talk about tree maps again. Another use of tree maps, also known as dictionaries. And the idea behind a tree map was that you could associate what with a what. A key with a value. That's the weirdest V I've ever drawn. There we go. So our illustration for it was using it as a quasi-database, where you could stick in a whole bunch of different objects, some kind of object ID followed by some kind of object value, cars and colors, or you could do, books and authors or something like that. Another use of them is to contain a lot of information about a single object, but in more of a free-form format than a class. Now, why you would use it for this fashion, I am not terribly sure, but it's used a lot this way in Python. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it. Let's go ahead and make a tree map. And it's going to consist of two strings. String, and we're going to just call it key. That's a real novel idea. And string, wait, that's not where that goes. String, comma, string, then let's give it a name. This is going to be for some kind of social media, so we're just going to call it post, like you're making a post on a network. Is equal to new tree map. Add an import for the tree map. And let's make an array list of posts. So array list of tree maps I don't like these two words being so similar to each other. Let's call it activity. Timeline, something is equal to new array list, like that. And we have to add an import for the array list. So let's just declare some things. We're going to ask for their name. We're going to ask for their location. We're going to ask for the time, and we're being incredibly lazy in storing all of these things as strings. And we're going to ask for the content of the post, the message. So we have our tree map. Honestly, I should have saved this part. We'll go with this. So the name is equal to Bob Jones. The location is Tokyo. Good old Bob. Time is 13:56:12 GMT or whatever, California time. And the message is, where can I get sushi? We need to insert those values into our tree map. So activity, no, I'm not digging that. Post dot put, we have to give it a key. Name is our key, and name is the text that we are going to be inserting into it. And then post dot put the location in quotes, followed by the location that way. Post dot put the time, followed by the time.
and then post.put quote message, end quote, followed by the message. And then we will add that post to our array list. Activity.add that post. Now we need to create a new tree map because we're going to add a different one to this list. Post equals new tree map. Honestly, I'm surprised that works. I guess because it knows what type the post is allocated, but we don't have to specify the string, comma, string. It doesn't hurt if we did. We could put string, comma, string in there if we wanted to, but we're allowed to leave it out. All right, let's get some new names and stuff. Name is equal to Sue Smith. Location equals Boise. Time is equal to 13:59:00. And the message is equal to don't eat sushi, it's raw. Now we need to put all that stuff in to our new post, just like we did before. Post.put the name of the user, but with quotes. This is just begging for us to make some methods. Post.put, you know what, we can just copy these lines and paste them. 1, 2, 3, 4, copy, 2, paste. So, let us, and I'm not sure at what times you came in. Did you get the these definitions up at the top? Okay. Do we have a printer in here? Let's see.
Thank you. I thought it was student. I should have written it. And I caught up on all the in-class ones you had online.
Okay,
all
cool.
The ones I was having trouble with was the homework.
Okay.
And so I just thought I would do those and get like that. All the other ones I did.
Cool. So write some code that will use a for each loop to go through that linked list.
So you just name it a Java application 16? Or does it matter what I name it?
Doesn't matter what you name it.
Which in-class one is this?
L.
Okay.
L, yeah, alrighty. So for every tree map, string, comma, string, let's just give it a name, P for post, that we find in our activities.
Does the M in tree map need capitalized?
Probably. I forgot to add this to our list anyways. So activity.add that second post. Yes, tree map needs to be capitalized. And our array list is just called activity. Just to begin with, before we get more complicated, let's just print out each tree map as we pull it out from the array list. All right, there we go. Location is Tokyo, message is where can I eat sushi, the name is Bob Jones, the time is 13:99, location is Boise, message is don't eat sushi, it's raw, name is Sue Smith, and the time is whatever. Now, is there an advantage to doing this rather than writing a class? Because we could obviously write a class that has name, location, time, and message.
So why is the name in the middle, not like the beginning?
Pardon me?
Why is the name in the middle? Like, it goes location, message, and then the name, not.
Well, it's in alphabetical order by key.
Okay.
There's another kind of map we can use that wouldn't put them in that order, but it doesn't hurt them, in this case, for them to be ordered. But you do see this in Python a lot. But instead of the way I think a tree map is useful for is doing that thing where you're just looking up somebody's name and you get a student ID, that kind of thing. In which case, one tree map serves as your entire data structure. And in this case, we have a linked list full of tree maps where each tree map represents one object. So if you're going to go that far, you ought to make this an object. I can't even call this a quick and dirty way of implementing it, but it is a different way of looking at it. Hopefully it hammers in the idea a little bit more about why don't we get out of that tree map the person's name for whatever reason. String in is equal to p dot get, and we're going to get out their name. And then string dot m for message is equal to p dot get message. And then let's just print out those two things. System.out.printf %10s their name, followed by the message n comma m. All right. The printing out of the raw object like that is making the utility of this look pretty bad. Apparently I chose two names that just barely happen to fit within 10 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're 8 characters long or whatever. So I'm just going to comment out that print. No, I'm not using Python. No hashtags. There we go. There we go. All right, that's about enough of that. Go ahead and add the gets necessary to get the location and the time out and print those as well. And if we call a get and we misspelled the key, or that key doesn't exist in it, it'll return a null. So if I was going to turn this into a class, I'll wait until people get this far. That'll be our next exercise, just for funsies. You all got it?
I had 400 and I left just to find the first name.
So let's make a class that has the same data. Let's just scroll up. All right. I don't know how to keep this on the page, Miranda, so I'm gonna just print.
I was gonna say it's printable. I'm almost done with this one.
Oh, I'm printing the wrong one. That's last week's.
Oh.
That's the wrong one, too. Alrighty, I knocked my tools around enough that I can't figure out where my window is. There he goes. This is at the end.
Okay.
The rest of
I'll
that.
just have to do something else. And then this one was just.
I think there's one thing missing from that, which is it needs to say activity.addPost right here, just like we did there.
Okay, so I'm
And then
okay.
tack this on. Oh, as a matter of
Oh,
fact, it's
so
right
it's
there.
on.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's scroll up to the top. And what are we going to call our class that's going to contain this data? We could call it post with a capital P. I don't know. Class post. What's next? String name. String location. String time. And string message. Let's make a constructor that fills in those pieces of data. So a constructor is a method that has the same name as the class but no return type, and it can accept arguments. So, what should the constructor be named? It has the same name as the class itself, so we don't have any choice. Post. No return type, no return value, but let's list what it can accept as parameters. String name, string location, string time, string message. So when this is invoked, we want to set the instance variables. This dot name is equal to name. This dot location is equal to location. This dot time is equal to time. And this dot message is equal to message. So what does the this keyword do? If I didn't add to this keyword, would this code actually work? And the answer is no. What does this mean? It's a way of differentiating a local variable or parameter, like these things, from the class members. So when you say this dot, you're saying, I want to change that name. You know, I mean, otherwise it would think that you were referring to that, and you would just say name is equal to name, and that's silly.
Do you want me to finish doing the comments or just put some seconds?
Put a semicolon
This is
there.
what this is what happened when I did my format.
Take that dot out.
Oh, okay.
Enter add. Right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I took out the spaces and added.
Let's go ahead and do this part. I am interested in you.
The things part, I would not follow it because it was such too long.
So, what else do we need to do to this? We should probably add a toString method that would format this stuff nicely. Go and steal your printf code from down here. Copy that line. Nah, that's not going to help us much, but well, it'll help us a little. And then go back up and we're going to add a toString method. String space toString with a capital S, parentheses in parentheses, curly brace. Let's make a string that will contain our return value, string S. And S is equal to string.format. All of that stuff that we just copied, except we're going to have to change that N, L, T, and M to our variables. This dot name, this dot location, this dot time, this dot message. Something I'm forgetting there. Oh, and then we need to return that string we just built. Still something I'm forgetting there. Helps if I spell return correctly. Are we getting there? All right. What's your malfunction? All right, I need to make this public. And really, I should make the constructor public too. Go back up, because the default access type for members and methods is not actually public. It's something very close to it. It means public to everything in the same package, but not outside it. Public means public to absolutely everything. Okay, go back down into main, and let's create an object of that type. Post P1 is equal to new post, parentheses, and we have to pass in that information. We have to fill in those parameters with some arguments to the name, location, time, and message. So Kirk on the enterprise, start date 2984-1, and his message is, beam me out of here. Let's do one for McCoy. Post P2 is equal to new post. McCoy, I'm not sure why Kirk on the enterprise is saying beam me out of here, but whatever. Also on the enterprise, stardate 3001 says he's dead, Jim. Now make an array list of type post and add those posts to them.
Which would be a new class.
No, we're just actually going to add this one to the same class. But did this work? Go ahead and run it. You sure did. Okay. Let me give you the next batch. Running out of paper. Why do you not print? Oh, I told her to print page 2 only. Herp, that dope. So what we've added underneath those imports, yeah, is everything from there to there. That's our class called post.
Okay.
And then we added like 4 lines inside of main.
Okay, so put it in between here and then
Right.
put the 4 lines in here.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
Yes, post array list, okay.
All right, so to create an array list to hold these posts, what do? I'm going to go down there. Okay. Tell me what to type here.
Array list,
Yep, array list,
open, diamond,
diamond,
I think post.
yep, post,
Yes.
close.
Then I titled mine post array list BAL. I don't know.
PA, post array, or PAL, post array list, is equal to new array list, like that. And then just add those 2 items to it. PAL.add P1, PAL.add P2, and then let's write a for loop that will print those guys out. For every post P in the array list, system.out.println P. All right, I accidentally left a /n in my to string. It would look better on mine if I took that out. Also, I misspelled enterprise. Scotty's going to be angry at me. So, I'm going to go fix those 2 things on mine. Doesn't matter if you do the same thing. /n goes away. Spell enterprise correctly. All right, there we go. Which method of building a set of data do you think's cooler? Creating tree maps and sticking them into an array list and managing them like that, or creating a class and managing it like that? Yep, you are correct. Well, I guess it was a matter of opinion, so I can't say yours. You share my opinion. All right, these just need to actually be the variables, name, location, message, and time.
I have it. this, I think, remember this thing.
You'll get a little warning. Go ahead and do that. It doesn't hurt it at all. Go ahead and click on the warning and accept its change. But you don't have to do it. Similarly, you get a warning here. Now this one's horrible. Go ahead and undo it, but then undo it with what it did.
Okay, here.
Yeah, that syntax is something that they added to Java 8, trying to steal from functional programming languages, and it's fantastic. Just a sec. So you'll want to go back and look at your code for last Wednesday. Let's go look at what the assignment is. And also in the same folder, I attached some additional notes called Treemap lecture notes so that you can just look at them and compare them to what we did, but they're very similar. So here's the assignment. I hope that's not too similar to what we just did. Let me go look. Okay, we did cars. Okay, cool. All right. So it says, be sure to use the notes, well, ignore the date, but whatever. Write a program that will allow the user to create a table of names and ages. The program should loop, asking the user if they want to add, remove, and quit. After every add or remove, the current data should be displayed. A tree map would be the easiest way to do this. So, add, remove, or quit. I want to add somebody. Their name, Fred. Their age, 30. Okay, here's our current data. It's just a little table with a header that says name and age. So you'll loop through the tree map. Add, remove, or quit. Add somebody else. Sam, name 22. Whoops, come back here. So we see there are 2 entries in our data set now, Fred and Sam. And since it's a tree map, it's sorted based on the key. So it'll be sorted on Fred and Sam. Add somebody else, Sue, who's 25. Now there are 3 people in our list, in our tree map. Now remove somebody. We're tired of Fred, so we remove Fred. We remove Sam. Okay, now we only have Sue left. We remove Joe. Joe wasn't even found, so we get an error. The only problem with these notes is they don't show how to handle errors. There's 2 ways of doing error checking on these things. I'm going to pop open well, guess I'll just tack it on to what we're doing here. Scroll down to the very bottom. Let's make a tree map called cars again. Tree map, string, comma, string, cars equals new tree map. Cars.add, we want a VW that's blue. Cars.add, we want a Model T that's black. Now we want to get some information. It's put, not add. Change those to put. Now we're going to look up a car. We're going to look up the VW. And the color. Color is equal to cars.get the lookup value. If it is not null, it is valid. If color equals null, let's display an error message. System.out.println no plus whatever we were looking for. Else, print out the color. Lookup plus a space plus their color. Similarly, if you were going to delete it, you would call .remove. But let's look up the Java docs for .remove to see whether it will generate an exception or not if that item does not exist in the list. Okay. So if you want to see, this safely returns null. So you don't really have to double check, but you could check. You could do a get before you did the remove, or you could just call .remove, returns null if not found. So that's safe enough, but it would be nice to look it up first. So color equals cars.get. Let's change lookup to a car that doesn't exist. Lookup is equal to Corvette. That doesn't exist in our list, so when we do color is equal to cars.get lookup, it will return a null. If colors is equal to null, we're going to print our error message again. System.out.println no plus that key. Else, let's remove it. Cars.remove based on that key. That was called color, not colors. My mistake. Car.remove lookup. And let's print an error message saying that we did it. System.out.println removed plus lookup. So let's see if we type this in without any egregious errors. All right, so it did find the VW that it was looking up. And when we tried to remove the Corvette, it said no Corvette. So this is extra sample code. I guess I could tack it on to that document that I just uploaded, showing how you could add, look up, and remove data from a tree map. All right, guys, those lecture notes are now in the Unit 2 Notes folder, the new improved version. So hopefully the assignment won't be too bad. Let's give it a due date. So new folder L, Dropbox. And then the homework will be due Sunday night.